All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about something pretty wild. The idea that the secret to becoming a powerful writer today isn't hiding in some dusty literature book. Nope, it's in a piece of tech from 1992. Let's unpack how a simple Merry Christmas text message can totally change the way you write.
I know, it sounds a little weird, doesn't it? How could this ancient, forgotten technology possibly hold a key to communicating better right now? Well, it turns out it holds maybe the most important lesson of all.
And to really get it, we have to go back, way back. Back to a moment that was so quiet, so small, that nobody even realized a revolution was starting.
Picture it. The year is 1992. The internet, it's still kind of this niche thing for academics. And mobile phones are, basically bricks you can talk into. But something's about to happen that's going to change, well, everything.
You've got this 22-year-old software engineer, Neil Papworth, sitting at his computer. He types out a quick little message, hits send, and boom, it pops up on the phone of his colleague, Richard Jarvis, who's actually at a holiday party. There were no flashing lights, no headlines, it was just a simple test.
And this was it. These 2 words. That was the very first SMS text message ever sent. I mean, talk about a quiet start to a global phenomenon, right?
Okay, now look at this timeline. The most important detail here is that constraint, a hard 160-character limit. It was originally designed for network alerts, nothing fancy. But then people did something incredible. They adapted. They started figuring out how to cram huge ideas, feelings, and jokes into this tiny little box. The limit didn't stop them, it actually forced them to get laser-focused. It made their message stronger. And that brings us to today. That physical 160-character limit, it's pretty much gone. But every single one of us, every writer, every marketer, every person sending an email is now facing a brand new constraint. And honestly, it's way tougher.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. Back then, the limit was physical. It was built into the tech. But now the limit is mental. It's our reader's attention span. We don't have 160 characters to play with anymore. We have about 3 seconds. 3 seconds to make our point before they just scroll away.
So why is being brief, being concise so darn effective in this battle for attention? Well, the answer isn't just about being fast. It's actually about how our brains are wired.
Think about it like this. Our brains absolutely love completion. A long, winding sentence forces your brain to juggle a bunch of ideas all at once, and that's just exhausting. But a short, punchy sentence, it delivers an idea, and then it lets go. And that feeling of, got it, is super satisfying. That's what keeps people reading. So, the big takeaway here is that brevity isn't about saying less, it's about saying more with fewer words. It's about respecting your reader's brain power.
Let's see this in action, okay? I'm going to read the first one. It is important to understand that the fundamental nature of successful writing, you're already tuning out, right? Your eyes are glazing over. Now listen to the short version. Good writing respects the reader. Say more with less. Bam! It hits. It lands. You remember it. The first one just dissolves into a fog of words. The second one becomes a rule to live by.
And his quote just captures that idea so perfectly. When you strip away all the junk, the message itself just rings out, loud and clear. It resonates.
Okay, so we get why brevity is so powerful. But how do we actually do it? Well, let's build out a super practical framework, all inspired by that little Merry Christmas text. So here they are, the 5 keys to the kingdom. We start with constraint, then find the core idea, compress the language, create a cadence, and finish with a strong completion. Let's break that down.
This table connects it all. So first, constraint. Just like that 160-character limit, give your opening line a 15-word limit. It forces you to get to the point fast. Second, core. Every sentence should have one and only one job to do. Nail that one idea. Third is compression. This is where you make every word fight for its life. Ditch weak adjectives. Use strong, punchy verbs. Instead of he was very mad, you write he was furious. See? More power, fewer words. Fourth, cadence. This is the rhythm. Mix short sentences with slightly longer ones to create a flow that pulls the reader along. And finally, completion. Put your most powerful words at the very end of the sentence. Instead of saying, the new policy was a disaster for the team, flip it. For the team, the new policy was a disaster. You feel that punch at the end? It just lands so much harder.
You know, when you start writing this way, brevity stops feeling like a restriction and starts feeling like a superpower. It becomes your competitive advantage in a world that is just drowning in noise. Now, this right here is a really powerful and kind of counterintuitive idea. We're all taught that big, complex sentences make you sound smart. But a lot of the time, the exact opposite is true. Long sentences are often a smokescreen for fuzzy thinking. If you can't say something simply, it might mean you don't really understand it yet. The real hard work, the real genius, is taking a huge idea and distilling it down into a few perfect words.
I mean, think about the most famous lines in history. I have a dream. Just do it. They aren't famous because they're complicated. They're famous because they are pure, they are essential. They're short, they're powerful, and man, do they have an echo.
So how can you start using this like right now? Here are 5 things to try. Go look at your last email. Are the opening lines under 15 words? Try rewriting a key paragraph so it fits into tweet. Go on an adjective hunt and just delete half of them. You probably don't need them. Read your sentences out loud. If you can't say one in a single, easy breath, it's too long. Chop it up. And finally, move those punch words to the end.
So it really all comes back to this. That lesson from that first Merry Christmas text is more important today than it has ever been. In a world that's just screaming for our attention, being clear is a kindness, and being brief is how you make an impact. The question isn't just what you want to say, it's what you want people to remember. In a world of noise, what will your echo be?